You all remember the illustration, Dent on the Rock. Unshakable faith in Nama chanting with the right mindset. That will lead to one-pointedness. Nama chanting, suppose if we do it, Nama chanting will be going on, part of the mind will be going on elsewhere. The first point Papa brings in is to ensure that the mind does not go anywhere else, to ensure that it gets pointed out to one. We should have the right mindset. Suppose we remember this much, then it will pave the way for so many other dimensions. Bringing in the attributes, bringing in the fundamental truth that God is within me and it is God who is making me to chant His name. That is the right mindset. Whenever the mind goes out, I need not blame the mind. I should be able to immediately point out to the mind that it is also the domain of God. Because there is no place where God is not. So even if the mind goes out, this is called the mindset. Even when the mind plays its tricks, making us believe that it is going off the track, immediately we try to pull it up and say, it is not going off the track, it is also He only there, in the form of objects, in the form of manifestations, in the form of situations, in the form of persons. So proper mindset. If we don't have Ram Nam chanting along with this mindset, again the concentration will not be there. So equally important is Ram Nam chanting and the proper mindset. Again Papa makes on to think that if we have to have 100% commitment to Nama chanting and to have the proper mindset during the non-chanting time, whatever we talk, whatever we do, whatever we think, it should get aligned to this. Otherwise the mind will become unruly. It will not help us to pull us up. One sentence, one word of Papa, just imagine, touches and kindles, brings out so many dimensions in the heart of a sadhaka. Kindly note down, if you have something there, even in your laptop or pen or pencil, this is very, very important. This is not a program or a session where we just would like to pass some time with you all. It is really a search. It is really an exploration. It should have its own positive impact on us. This is what is expected of us as spiritual children of Papa. He gave us the prompting, He facilitated us to have all the required, requisites. He gave us the mindset to present it. He gave you the mindset to hear. All these things are there. It should not just go for a time passing. So the first one itself says, under the tag, one-pointedness. When you say one-pointedness, unshakable faith in Ramana. How do we get it? We believe in the words of our Master. Why do we believe? They have scaled the heights. Their life is a testimony before us. It is not a theory that he said. In his early days, out of 24 hours, 22 hours he was chanting. But his chanting and our chanting is different because there the mindset was there. So what is the mindset? He was aware that it is God who is seated within who is making him to chant. In the sustained faith means what? It is not a faith just comes, stays again after some time, no. It can come only through reflection. We try. You all remember the illustration. The pepper vine on the mother tree. A cutting of a pepper vine, which will be hardly 1 feet or 2 feet, that would be placed at the footsteps of the tree, and then by proper nurturing it, nourishing it, slowly it starts sprouting. And you know what does it do? It embraces the whole stem. That is how by step it grows. It is something very nice to look at. Those who are associated with plantation life can see right from the age of a cutting to a fully grown pepper vine. It embraces, That is the support. And based on that support, it grows and grows and grows. It yields bountiful crop. Again it comes, it's a perennial crop. It is not that one time is over seasonal, no. Next year also it will get. But it cannot by itself grow. It needs the support. So the sense of individuality, which is unique for every one of us, it exists. It brings out wonderful revelations, activities, discoveries, inventions, innovations, something superb, the activity of a person. But it can come only on the mother tree called the Atman, the spirit, God. Minus that, it cannot exist. Creeper and tree. Even the very act of now sharing, even the very act of hearing is made possible only because he is there in the form of spirit, in the form of life force, in the form of consciousness, in the form of that Adhar, substratum, base, whatever we call it. So the second point also supports. First one was one-pointedness. The second one is total reliance. Total reliance on God. Nothing else. These are all, as we keep on plumbing deep into Papa's life, when he is taking us to the real Papa in us, we started with the Papa as an outside guru, spiritual guru, but as he starts, he is taking us to the Papa inside us, the reality within us. So now, the second point he shows now is, along with one-pointedness, you must have unshakable reliance on God. You can see there is a chronological order also, now we find it. Not that at the time of composing Papa did not give us that view, but now as we keep on looking at it intently, there seems to be an order. 3-in-1 approach. If I have to develop one-pointedness, if I have to develop sustained faith, total reliance, I must have the 3-way approach. Knowledge, devotion and action. To form the right concept, you need knowledge. And if dedication is not there, devotion is not there, the knowledge will become dry. It will not serve its purpose. And along with that, we must be involving ourselves in actions. Whether it is Nama chanting, whether it is hearing of a satsang, whether going deep into the Shastras, whether we go deep into the biographic sketch of masters, these are all actions. 3-way approach. Knowledge, devotion, action. Again we come from the first, one-pointedness, total reliance on God, and third is 3-way approach. Knowledge, devotion and action. Inner refinement is a must. You remember the illustration, cocoon and the butterfly. Inside, it develops. It is not that it comes as a butterfly. In order to become a butterfly, there is an inward journey there. So if I have to locate the true core of my being, there should be an inner refinement. That means even if I control outwardly, it will not help. There should be a total inner purification, inner cleanliness, inner purity. Papa refers to it as sannyas. While elaborating on sannyas, he made it very clear that outer sannyas will be of no avail if it is not having the inner purity. There should be a total dedication of our whole personality to know and realize the core of our being. Unless and until the mind is so pure, it will not. So apart from, if we have to fix that one-pointedness, if we have to have the unshakable total reliance, if we have to really make use of the 3 ingredients, most essential thing is inner refinement. which will be expressive in our outer actions. So in order to have this, first we should place ourselves under the care, under the guidance of a well-established, accredited guide, spiritual preceptor, and a proper environment. But afterward we should be able to outlive. You remember the sapling and the fence. On the roadside, when we want to plant a shade tree, we first plant a sapling. In order that the sapling is rightly protected, we put a small fence. And when we keep on nurturing it, a stage comes when it outgrows the fence. Initially it is needed, but it is also needed to outgrow. So if I have to take up one-pointedness, total reliance, three-way method, inner refinement, I must place myself under the care of a spiritual preceptor and a conducive environment. Normally we call it as ashram. But Papa has clearly warned that we should not bind ourselves to any of these, because it will plug, it will hamper our full blossoming. We have come now to the fifth one. So continuous expansion, not to get ourselves limited to one particular, not to feel satisfied. Especially people like us who are in ashram, who are in who have allotted with certain work. We should not be satisfied. That is not for the purpose for which we have come. Our ultimate is for continuous expansion, mental expansion. We should free ourselves from the conceptual prisons which we have put ourselves. So this is a must for all sadhakas. You can see how wonderfully Papa is bringing out, We started as a search towards him, as a search outside us. Now it's a search who is inside us. And if I have to keep on opening the inner chamber one by one, I suddenly come out with the revelations which he points out from within. Expand. At no point allow yourself to get stagnated. Whatever may be the explanation the mind may give, expand. So that we can try now to have the direct contact. Previously we were relying on person, traditions, sadhana, everything. But direct experience I must have. Papa clearly wants this. When you look back to his own experience, you will find that all these things he did, he plunged into his in 1922, December 27th. And with that background, when he went to Ramana Bhagavan, that spark touched him. And the direct experience he got in 21 days. So we must be pining. Why am I not getting the first glimpse at least? I can understand it may not stay with me, because I am not a full-timer. I have not been, my purification has not been become total. All those things I may know very well rather than others. But I must have. Because that is the one which is going to put me on the track always. We remember many people, one particular person comes up in our mind. He came here for the first time in 70s, late 70s. He had the blessed privilege of meeting Puja Mataji. He also said he did not talk anything with Puja Mataji. The moment he saw Mataji, that serenity, that absence of otherness, that unbounded love, everything touched and kindled in him. So he went to the L building, that was the main building then. He went to the room and closed the door and sat, and then he said, an inexplicable experience welled up in his heart. And for hours together he was in that. When he came out of the room, he was not at all in a mood to disturb it. So part of the mind was reveling on it. And he was telling us 3 or 4 years back when he came. After that he does not come. I have been trying. But the direct experience is making him always, that I must get it. Free from all thoughts, free from all conditionings, free from all sadhanas. Only that person will know. Before that, he was an individual. After that, he was an individual. But there is a change in that individual. So Papa talks about the direct experience. His own words are, switch on your wire for direct communication. Why do you deny him in your heart? God does not need an intermediary. If you think God can talk through Ramdas, he can talk through you as well, because you cannot accuse him of partiality. So many dimensions. Whether he is a serious sadhaka, whether he is a lukewarm sadhaka, whether he is a theist or an atheist, whether he is an out and out materialist, out and out spiritualist, God is equal in everybody. Only the degree of revelation changes from person to person. So when that being even when I was not aware of him, even when I was not initiated into any of the known sadhanas, even when I had not developed my devotion, my surrender, my reliance on him, he was still with me. He has been with me. At no point of time he has moved away from me. This revelation. Then why should I? How can I deny myself? Deny him in my heart? I know it. Right from the moment he gave me the feeling that I am, till this moment, he gives me the feeling that he has been with me. When that is the truth, it is not somebody telling, It is the truth. When that is there, why should I not establish a direct contact with him, which is called direct experience? So again, going back, one-pointedness, steadfast faith, 3-in-1 approach, inner refinement, continuous expansion, direct experience. Everything has been facilitated to me by him, not merely by inner conditions, but outer conditions. Suddenly I realize I need air to breathe, I need water to drink, earth to exist, space to move about, the temperature to keep me alive. I need trees, food, which is given to me by Mother Nature, creature comforts, which are given to me by society, even the very language, everything is a gift given to me by Him. So, under the banner of spiritual discipline, can I isolate myself? Can I withdraw myself? Papa emphatically says, no. You must pay back. How do we pay back? In the form of positive outlook, positive actions, loving actions, broad actions, actions that are beneficial for the rest of the creation. I will not knowingly or unknowingly initiate that will be harmful for the detrimental to the interest of my co-creation. Very important point in spiritual line. Papa's ways are unique, I tell you. He doesn't want, he bluntly says, Ramdas does not want anyone to lead only a contemplative life. Because we are what we are because of the creation, because of the manifestation outside. So this creation also owes its own share to the rest of the creation. So whatever way, in the way of actions, in the way of thoughts, in the way of words, I need not go and embrace the whole creation. The creation which is placed right in front of me. I should be able to expand my love circle. Bring out creative thoughts. He said, be creative. Later on he will say that. Be dynamic. With an idea to pay back. Very, very important. When I initiate a positive thought with fully charged mind, it will have its impact. Even sitting here, we can do that. That is why Puja Mataji initiated, you all know, 15,500 crore Nam Jap Yajna for world peace. People may feel, a few people sitting in ashram when they chant, how can world peace become a reality? What Mataji wanted all of us to understand is, there is a power for peace. The peace power is generated from every individual. We need not necessarily go in for outer activities. Outer activities are also necessary. But more important is the power, peace power. Everyone should be happy. Everyone should be happy. Everyone should be happy. Everyone should be peaceful. So the quality, care and concern for every creation. There is no divide between spiritual and worldly life. You remember the illustration of the top, what do you call it? Spinning top. Apparently it looks still, but it is rotating. Both the static and dynamic aspects. Both the spiritual practices as well as the labeled worldly practices. Both should go hand in hand. Papa's quotation is, spirituality that cannot be applied in actual life is no spirituality. God is in the world and is acting through every one of us. So even for fun's sake, we should not feel that there is a divide. There is a divide. Normally it is there. With all this hearing, we still have that feeling. With all this talking, you have that feeling. But we should keep on hammering. that there is no divide, there is no divide, there is no divide. Everything is his, everything is his, everything is his. So whether I am leading a family life, whether I am leading a professional life, whether I am leading a spiritual life, whether I am leading a social life, wherever I am doing his job, his job, his job. Absolutely there is no divide. So far we have conditioned our mind. These are all spiritual, these are all worldly. At that time it was necessary. We may not be able to know that God dwells in everything. We first developed God's presence only in temples. We developed Guru's presence only in ashrams or Mahatmas. Later on, the spiritual preceptor gave us wise tuitions in the form of understanding, in the form of experience, that God is everywhere, Guru is everywhere. The famous quotation of Papa, the world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is Guru or God. There is no divide. There is no divide. Vegetable garden. The uniqueness. The same soil, same manure, same water, same gardener, same air, same sun. But when we plant different seeds, though all the inputs are same, each one comes out with its own unique character, unique characteristics. We will not see the same thing. So in spiritual journey, we need not think that we should be like the other one. When we happen to take to inward journey, normally, the tendency is to follow somebody. Nothing wrong. Initially, we have to follow somebody. But during the last 7 or 8, we have found that the expansion, everything comes individually. So we need not get dispirited or dejected or get frustrated that why I am not becoming Papa. Straight away I place myself. I have been doing this. I am not like Mataji. I am not like this Mahatma. I am not like that Mahatma. Nobody can become another. Everybody has to blossom in their own way, because God has given us this uniqueness. Otherwise he will not enjoy the sport. He wanted varieties. That is why all of us need varieties. When he wanted to become many, this uniqueness is something, the first one he dropped. Though the essential Aadhar, material base is one, this uniqueness is also there. Same water is kept in half a dozen glasses. In one you pour little sugar, in one you pour little salt, in one you pour little spicy. And like that, sourness. These are all unique. Water is the base. Similarly, the uniqueness is also a gift of God, which normally we don't understand. Papa gives total emphasis to it. In one of his famous, beautiful articles, he brings it out. The portion we will read out because it is not possible to read the whole thing. The true spiritual perfection lies along the path of your own inherent nature. You have to develop your individual uniqueness so that the divine power and glory may be revealed in you, expressing themselves in an original way. Hope everybody hears properly. No? Very important point. The true spiritual perfection lies along the path of your own inherent nature. You have to develop your individual uniqueness so that the divine power and glory may be revealed in you, expressing themselves in an original way. You ought to be a creator of new thoughts and actions. When you are walking on the path of the divine, you are fired with the zeal of adventure and you go to meet the goal of your quest according to your own inborn nature. Illustration is the scaffolding. When we want to put up an arch, we have to have a scaffolding first. Then after the scaffolding, the process is done, curing takes place. After 21 days, we remove the scaffolding. The structure stands on its own leg. Otherwise, it won't be a strong structure. It will immediately fall down. So we make use of the scaffolding, but self-reliance should be there. Just now he was telling about the uniqueness, but self-reliance, every now and then, we may all hear about this, but still we will be binding ourselves to one system of thought, one particular individual, one particular order, one particular tradition. No. We have before us Papa's life. Every time he was relying on Ram within. He was confident. You might remember there are many instances in his life, but now what comes in our mind is the Vasishtha Guha episode. How persevering, the person who was accompanying him dissuaded him from doing it because it was an adventurous trip at that time. Today you can reach Vasishtha Guha in a couple of hours drive from Rishikesh. On those days it took 3 days. There was no direct route. He has to climb up the tree, the mountain, and coming back again the valleys, days. Oh. So every time, initially the people who were accompanying, he said, don't go, it is risky. Ram. Reliance on Ram. Ram cannot go wrong. There must be a purpose if we give this strong prompting from inside. Whatever we have discussed in the 9, everything was there in there. Total reliance, one-pointedness, 3-in-1 approach, in expansion, everything is there. Finally, it culminates in this self-reliance. Scaffolding is the illustration which we can. Because ultimately, the structure has to stand on its own leg. Ultimately, the sadhaka has to stand. He should not rely on anything else. Papa never, throughout his sadhana life, he was only having Ram, Ram, Ram. The Ram inside and the Ram outside. Even when the outside guidance came, he was immediately able to realize the presence of Ram. You remember in In Quest of God, he says the girl was running toward the deeper incline and she has no control. Ramdas cannot help. He was praying intensely and then he finally, Ram saved her. Ram saved her. What is not possible for Ram? Nothing is impossible for Ram. So that reliance on Ram within, very, very important point in our search towards Him. So these are all the 10 points, and we would request, it will be a sadhana for us as a sadhana for you also. Kindly note down these 10 from your memory if you have not jotted it down. And you try to put it in order, because it should be unique, Your approach to these points should also be unique, and you kindly bring it out. In this forum we can share. How do you look at it? How does God prompt you to look at these 10 dimensions? Otherwise it becomes clerical, same, bluntly. You are hearing somebody and you are just reproducing. No. The reflection should take place on these 10 points. Then only it becomes a part of ours. Otherwise it does not become a part of ours. So kindly try. Amen.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Ram जय राम।